So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to start out with a 1-minute opening statement. Each candidate will have 1 minute to introduce themselves, share their motivation for running, and describe what their connection is to the KATY ISD community.
Honor to God first. My name is Khristopher. In the last year and a half, I've helped over 170 of my mentees earn United States Congressional Awards, Presidential Educational Achievement and Excellence Awards from the United States Department of Education. I've helped at-risk youth become award-winning youth through dedication to mentorship, helping them get involved with civic engagement and inspiring the next generation towards a lifetime of achievement. For me, this is not about the journey. This is not about the destination, it's about the journey. I am very inspired by each and every one of the commitment and dedication of everyone on this board. I say thank you to each and every one of you for being here. It's a reflection of each and every one of you being a one-of-a-kind, impossible to duplicate, living, breathing miracle, your dedication to the community. What's most important to me is not this position, it's the impact for the next generation. It's inspiring young minds to get involved with civic engagement, leadership. I'm an example and a testimony to what God can do to you in your life when you impact other lives. And that's what matters to me.
Over the past 5 years, what actions have you taken to benefit KATY ISD students, and how has this shaped your priorities in this campaign? 2 minutes at your ready, Mr. Fields.
Well, definitely in the last 5 years, but even in the last 370 days, I have a strong track record for building a strong infrastructure and going to several campuses across KATY ISD, bringing counselors to tears, talking with administrators, staff members, pitching programs that would affect students in KATY ISD, and being met with reschedules and different things that didn't work out so well. So I took a couple steps back, but now I'm taking a giant leap forward, because to me success is about access. And a lot of students walk across the stage every year not getting what they could have gotten because they earned it, because simply nobody knew about it and nobody had the passion to create that awareness so students could get what could set them up for greater success. For me, this is not about titles, and I want to make sure that's very, very clear. This is not about titles, because I've learned a long time ago that there are way too many people in the world who have traded the power of love for the love of power. So this is not about titles. I was appointed an admiral in the Texas Navy by the governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott. But I'm not over here commanding fleets. It's an honorary title. But that being said, I understand that the title is nothing without operating in the capacity of making a difference and an impact. So for me, my goal is not to play politics. It's about setting up the next generation for opportunity to rise up and lead on. It's about students first. It's not about what this can do for me. It's about setting the next generation up for opportunity to find their place. It's about access. It's about awareness. It's about students rising up and seeing themselves among the greatest achievers in humanity. It's about the silent student who struggles with teachers who care more about their paychecks and care more about what's in it for them than the student. It's about the student who's cut out and falls through the cracks, and the teacher is annoyed by them and frustrated and casts them to the side, and yet they care more about their pension than the student. It's about the parent who's drowning at the school board meetings because they can't articulate the struggle, and I care about the parent and the student more than my own selfish hidden agenda or pursuit, because it's more about the impact.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Audience, please give a round of applause for position 2. And answering question 2. We are now going to move on. All right, here we go. What specific actions will you take as a school board member to ensure that KATY ISD policy supports student growth and achievement while maintaining sound fiscal responsibility? 2 minutes at your ready, sir.
So my dedication of 5,500 hours to volunteer leadership has led to nearly 30 awards from the highest levels of government, federal, state, city, and county. Honors, awards, and distinctions for this very thing. This kind of strategy is no new thing to me. I believe in inspiring the next generation to see themselves as Nobel Peace Prize winners and humanitarians leading on a global stage. That's why I'm shifting the vision from the local community to a globally competitive force. Our youth has talents, gifts, and skills that are being under-recognized. They aren't being seen for the real value that they have. And that's the reason why so many youth in the next generation that I believe with the right shift of focus, that we can set them up for college applications, competitive scholarship essays, and being selected because college boards, scholarship essay committees, they care about the story more than just grade point averages, more than just attendance. They care about the youth stories, which is why I actually authored legislation and published legislation that was actually accepted by a state legislator in the Texas House of Representatives called the Lone Star Perseverance Act, which was a response to the restructuring of the United States Department of Education, which did exactly that, which was an effort to publish legislation to create a statewide award program with a minimal budget that would impact as many kids as possible, recognizing perseverance, resilience in the face of special learning obstacles, such as homelessness, such as dealing with incarcerated parents, navigating the foster care system, challenges at home, such as raising siblings, who have still showed up every single day, persevered against all odds to make significant progress in their academics. This is not something I'm new to. This is the reason I've been honored with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, Presidential Gold Medal, and 7 United States Congressional Awards from several different Congress members.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Ms. Reed, do you need me to repeat the question again, sir? Okay. What specific measures would you support to improve student and staff safety here at KATY ISD? 2 minutes at your ready, sir.
I am dedicated to parent empowerment. So first and foremost, I want to dissect all the legalese. Beyond the fluff, the labels, the things that sound good, that make it seem like everything's okay. I've studied things time and time again, and I've seen there are so many people who, out of fear for losing their job, out of fear for taking on the weight of responsibility, they push accountability down the road. So first and foremost, parents should never be the last to know when there's a situation. That is, to that parent, their child, that is the most important thing in their life. They should always know when something is going on with their child. So the very first priority is beyond the fluff, the labels, the policies. We need to make sure that we have a system in place that parents are immediately notified no matter what happens, whether large or small. Parents need to be completely aware of anything happening with their child. And I also believe that a credible threat is a valid excuse from school. Parents should be empowered to put their child where they believe their child is safe in any situation. I take threats very seriously, but I also believe that we should not allow children to fall through the cracks just because of labels, just because we label them as a problem, just because we label them as out of control. We should still be able to find solutions for each and every child, but that should not be at the risk of other children who are not a challenge. I do believe that we can find a solution, but again, for parent empowerment, meaning that parents should be fully aware of all the aspects, not just hidden conversations behind closed doors that don't give parents all the things they need to know. Violence is the language of the unheard. Again, I'm for empowering the next generation to rise up, to be counted, and to lead on. I am an actual product of one of those behaviorally challenged students, and I'm not afraid to say it. I was in a GAP program, which is similar to BICS or behavioral challenge students. I was one of those students who had challenges, and guess what? I had teachers who taught me how to be better, and now I'm inspiring the next generation to rise up and be counted. So I know what it means.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. We appreciate you. Currently on your 89th legislative session. So our question to you is, what priorities have you already advocated for, and what priorities will you continue to advocate for the 90th legislative session on behalf of KATY ISD's students, teachers, and funding? For this question, we're going to go to position 2 first. Mr. Fields, you will be answering this question first, followed by Ms. Reed, and then Mr. Redmond. And then we'll shift over to position 1, where Mr. Perez, you will kick off. And then Mr. Cross, you will wrap up on that question. So I'm going to ask the question again, and Mr. Fields, then you will proceed. What priorities have you advocated for in the past, and what priorities will you continue to advocate for in the 90th legislative session to benefit KATY ISD students, teachers, and funding?
So let the record show, again, I'm actually author of legislation. I published legislation that was accepted by State Legislator Ron Reynolds, and is currently actually going through the process of a life of a bill in this Texas House of Representatives, titled the Lone Star Perseverance Award Act. And that actual act is about student achievement and recognizing students who have overcome special learning obstacles to learning. such as homelessness, navigating the foster care system, incarcerated parents, challenges such as behavioral challenges and other obstacles that prevent them from being able to achieve, yet they still persevere through resilience and dedication. So these are not just words that sound good because of a particular election. It just happens to be election season. This is something I was doing and actually authoring and going through the process with my elected officials before this. And it's something I'll be doing after this, regardless of the result of this. I also want to say I'm about parent empowerment because while my dad was on crack, my mom needed that parent empowerment. She fought for me while I was at the Gap Center, like some of these programs that they're talking about right now. She fought for me so that today I could have nearly 30 awards from the highest levels of government, federal, state, and city. She fought for me so I could help over 170 students earn congressional awards, go from at-risk to empowered. She fought for me so I could build a foundation that has been sponsored by Walmart, Google, Microsoft, who help students see themselves as Nobel Peace Prize winners, humanitarians, and several other impactful leaders and public figures in the community. I said that to say, parent empowerment is very, very important to me. And so in this position, I want to give every single parent, no matter the walk of life, no matter the challenge of the student, whether they're a social butterfly or a student with any particular challenge, I want to give every parent the tools they need so their child can succeed beyond anybody's expectation.
Thank you, Mr. Field. Ms. Reed, would you like me to read the question again?
Yes.
Perspective on school funding and what financial strategies would you support to ensure that KATY ISD remains fiscally responsible while maintaining educational excellence? 2 minutes at your ready, sir.
So wisely I can say, and this is the wisdom of collaboration, where we all have different insights in this, but I can tell you, nonprofit has never meant and never will mean no profit. It just means that the investments, the finances are not invested back to the stakeholders' personal pockets. It goes back to the mission. And so doing a lot of research on grants and finances and investing in the nonprofit industry and consultation and doing a lot of work, I found a lot of privatized finances for student achievement are available to school districts and public education systems. But it goes back to what I said earlier, success is about access and access is about awareness. And I live by 3 major quotes. For one, celebrate what you want to emulate. We've got to find the gifts and the talents of those who can identify those resources, extrapolate them, find them, and add additional streams of revenue to our district. 2, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and that's the wisdom of collaboration. Rather than saying something just to be right or sound like you know what you're talking about, actually listening insightfully to understand where it makes the most impact. And 3, before you educate the head, educate the heart. Students are not dollar signs or labels, and we can be very realistic with this in mind. And people are not just taxpayers. This is a community, and it's not just about getting kids in classrooms for the finances. That's where the labels come in. That's where we put a sticker on them, and we just want warm bodies and seats. It's about next generation. I am a generational thinker. A wise proverb says that a real wise man, a generational thinker, is someone who plants a seed in the ground knowing that they will never sit in the shade of a tree. I want to see KATY rise up to ranks it's never seen before, an award-winning district, being a prototype, a showcase district, not only for the city of KATY, but for the nation, for the globe, for generations seeing what's possible. That's my vision for the generations, not just putting warm bodies in seats. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Thank you, Mr. Redmond.
And Mr. Khristopher Fields, position 2. So thank all the candidates, attendees, and our community partners for making tonight's forum a success. We thank the KATY Area Chamber for hosting such a wonderful event. We encourage everyone to stay informed and vote on May 3rd and upcoming school board election. Your vote counts, and the closer that the ballot is to the bottom, the closer it is to your door. So you should exercise your vote and vote in primaries too.